Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm actor Brandon Rush. I've been in 80 television shows and movies, and I launched the Buckle Up Podcast with my mom, who is my co-host, Mama Rush, who is a pharmaceutical sales specialist. We launched the show April 9th of 2025. We have done 145 episodes. And we are in 81 countries in 944 cities around the world. We're pretty excited about that. And what makes our show special is because we have people featured in all different kinds of backgrounds. Many of the people from my movie and television business, directors, writers, actors, producers, casting directors, casting associates, casting assistants, casting producers, voiceover artists. I think I've mentioned everything in the acting world so far. We have had FBI agents on here that I worked with on the TV series Criminal Minds. That'd be Jim Clemente and Bobby Chacon, retired FBI agents who are also writers. Criminal Minds was one of the shows that they wrote for, and that I worked in episodes with, playing Commander Brandon Rush. Yes, they named the character after me, which is pretty cool. I'm very excited about that. That was awesome. We have also had military on here. We've had veterans, doctors, lawyers, teachers, professors from my college days, small business owners, CEOs, tycoons, and our goal is to help get back to the youth. We have people from with all these different backgrounds. Our hope is to get back to the youth. So by having all these people from these different backgrounds, they can help educate, can kind of say the path of how they got to where they are, which I think is important because not everyone knows. Also gives our guests the opportunity to tell their story, not just for our guests, but for their own family members and friends out there. So feel free to download us on Apple, Spotify. We're also on YouTube. We're on about 12 other podcast directories. You can follow me on Instagram at BrandonRushh or the Buckle Up Podcast page on Instagram, which is BuckleUpPodcast. I think I said it right. Buckle Up, BuckleUpPodcast. The Buckle Up Podcast page that we have. We're also on TikTok as well. So feel free to check any of those. Today, we're going to have a very special guest on here. That will be someone who understands the industry from the inside out. She's Stacy Noelle Conner, I believe is not how she pronounces her name. She started in acting and writing. She worked her way through multiple jobs in Los Angeles and then made her major pivot into reality TV casting, working on major shows like The Bachelor, Love is Blind, Squid Game, The Challenge, and more. She's also the co-host of the Pretty Corrupt podcast and recently made a bold move to live as a digital nomad in Malta. This is a story about reinvention, resilience, and taking risk. So we are very happy to have Stacy on here from, I believe, Malta. She's going to be coming in from Malta. So she'll be on here in just a few minutes, and then we will be right back after this quick commercial break. Resume record. Stacy, hello. How are you doing this morning, or I guess evening, your area?
Yeah, it's late afternoon. I'm good, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us on the Buckle Up podcast with Brandon Rush and
Mama Rush. Hi, Stacy.
Hi. It's
You're
so
gonna
nice
see
to
my
see
picture
y'all.
today. You're gonna see my picture today.
I see.
yeah, my mom likes to use her picture from time to time. And Stacy, thank you so much for coming to us from Malta.
Malta, yes.
So I can't wait for you to tell us about how you ended up in Malta, and we definitely will get to it. But I just want to say, first off, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on here and be on this Buckle Up Podcast universe.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm grateful that you reached out to me and that you asked me to be on this. So I'm very excited to like get to talk to y'all and answer any questions and just yeah, it's a wonderful way to spend a Sunday.
Okay, good, good. Well, we're gonna have a great time with it. I had a question to ask you, but I can't find it right now. But I think I can do it off of memory. Stacy, my question for you is: how do you take us back to Texas? You're a girl from Texas, is that correct?
Yep, born and raised in Texas. Yes. Yeah, born in Austin, raised in Fort Worth. And then I had to get out. I had to
Okay.
leave as soon as I could.
Okay.
And yeah, and moved to LA and went to USC for theater school. So, but I mean, but at the same time, I mean, I loved Texas. I loved growing up there, and I miss the food and the thunderstorms and that type of stuff. But the big city was calling my name, so I needed to get out.
Okay, I hear you on that. So, in Texas, I guess you love theater growing up. I guess would it be theater technically?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I went. There's a playhouse. It's called the Casa Manana Playhouse in Fort Worth, and it used to be theater in the round. And during like the main like school year, they had basically like children's theater, and
Okay.
so they would do mostly like fairy tales, and they would redo them. And so like I remember going to that like once a month, like on the
Yeah.
weekends, and like doing that. And then they also had classes, which their company of actors would teach the classes. And so like I took acting classes, I took theater classes starting when I was like 5 years old
Wow.
there. And yeah, and I got into that. And then there was a Shakespeare company, a Shakespeare in the Park in Fort Worth, and I worked there. I worked backstage. I got a little bit of like on stage work too, but then I was heavily into theater and my high school and all of that stuff. So yeah, I was very big into it.
Oh, that's impressive. Shakespeare is no easy task there, especially at a pretty young age. I would say too that you're doing that.
Yes. Yeah. My first Shakespeare I played Miranda in The Tempest when I was a freshman in high school. So yeah.
Holy smokes. Good for you, man. You're the really classically trained over here.
Well,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Finish asking.
So then I was going to say, so from there you decided, hey, all right, you want to get out of, I guess it's a smaller town there in Texas, although Texas is a pretty big state, but I guess where you're at in Fort Worth. Military kid?
No, not a military kid at all. No.
Okay. I didn't know with Fort Worth. I was just checking.
Well, no, I mean, that's a good guess though, because Carswell Air Force Base was there. Now I don't know, they changed it into a combined base. It's a combined base now, but it's smaller than it used to be. But yeah, Carswell Air Force Base was there when I was growing up. So, I mean, that's a good guess though. So,
Okay, yeah, I figured I'd give it a shot in the dark. But getting into USC, their theater program, you said, right?
Yes.
That's no small task either. Would you kind of tell us about what made you decide, hey, I'm going to try and get into USC's theater program? Because I think it's one of the best in the country, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, I knew I wanted to go to theater school, and for a long time in high school, I thought I wanted to go to NYU and I wanted to go to Tisch. But then I learned more about the actual program, and I didn't necessarily like the way it was set up, because the way like you audition, and if you get in, then it's like you get put kind of, from what I understood at the time, and this is back in the 90s. So you kind of get put in like a school. And so you're kind of set into a certain track. And if you get into a track that you don't necessarily like, or doesn't really gel with the way that like you do theater or the way that you learn, you're kind of stuck. And so I didn't really like that. And I also decided I didn't really want to go for a BFA. I wanted to go for a BA, so that I could immerse myself as much as I wanted to into theater, yet at the same time have a college experience, because I also wanted to have that as well. And the summer before my senior year of college, I did a theater program at Northwestern called the Cherub Program. Okay. And so I was there, and I actually fell in love with Northwestern as well. So I either wanted to go to Northwestern or USC. So
okay.
places that I wanted to go. Yeah. I applied a couple other places, but I was like, whatever. And that year, I used to be a big football fan, but USC and Northwestern played each other in the Rose Bowl. And I was like, whoever wins the Rose Bowl is where I'm going to school. And then in USC. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, USC did have a good football team. For them to lose would have been surprising, but that's amazing that's what it came down to.
Yeah. Well, the football team ended up sucking my entire college career
Oh, really?
there.
Okay, well, dang. Was that before or after they got hit with the penalties? Was that after the penalties, probably?
This was in the late 90s when I was
Okay.
there. So I was at USC from 96 to 2000. So they had like just had a good run, and then they had a bad run, and then Pete Carroll came in a couple of years after I graduated, and then it was like really good. And then
Okay.
they got hit and then everything. So yeah.
Stacy, I need to know what your skincare routine is because you have found a fountain of youth. Yeah, I'm in literally shock. I can't I'm in shock right now. I can't
Your
even believe
skin is
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, you're stunning. You're stunning and
Yes,
youthful.
beautiful. I think it's probably where you're living
Yeah.
and that good living you have. Mediterranean Sea, isn't that right off of there?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea for sure. But I mean, I only got here 2 months ago. So
Oh,
in all honesty, I mean, a bunch of it's genetics, to be honest with you, Mama Raj.
okay.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
so I do have good genetics, but also I am so fair. I have known that I do not have a fighting chance against the sun for my entire life. So when all the other girls were out there tanning and in
Mhm.
the sunbeds and everything like that, I was putting on SPF 30, SPF 50. I wear sunscreen every single day of
That
my
is
life.
perfect.
Yeah, because I was like, no, we're not. I moisturize all the time. I'm like, no, we're keeping this good. I mean, it's happening. I'm aging. I also know how to light myself very well too. So let's not get it twisted there either. So
Yeah. It might have a little bit to do with it. You're doing good. You're doing absolutely good. Before I get to the Malta thing, how was that shift for you going from Texas to Los Angeles, which is obviously a big shift?
Mhm.
I'm from the East Coast myself, so I've had to do it myself. So what was that like for you?
I mean, it was culture shock at the time. It was definitely culture shock. So, and then we didn't have the internet back then, so you could like kind of learn and would like know more. I definitely was like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't go to 8 a.m. classes in pajamas like I thought I was going to be able to. I was like, people actually dress up to go to school here. I was like, to class here. I was like, oh
Yeah.
crap. So, but at the same time, I wasn't very popular in school growing up. Like, so, and I also went to a really small school that I graduated from. And so, it was very nice to like go to a bigger city and go to a larger
Mhm.
school where I could kind of become who I always felt that I was and be
Absolutely.
accepted and like find, even though, look, and because you moved from the East Coast to Los
Yeah.
Angeles and everything,
No.
like we know how do I put this? Because LA gets a bad rap for being like fake
Yeah.
and very shallow and all of that stuff and very surface level. But also at the same time, it is a big enough city that I feel that, and I feel like I've been lucky enough to find people that I've always gelled with. And I feel that no matter where you go, if you're a real person and if you're a good person, you will always find good people. Like, and you can always find shysters and weirdos anywhere. And like, and it's like, are they your kind of weirdos? They're not your kind of weirdos. And so I
Yeah.
was able to find my kind of weirdos there everywhere I went. And so that's what I liked. Like I moved there and immediately was like, oh, okay. Like if these people don't like me, I'm not stuck with them. I can go
Yeah.
find people who do like me. Like this place is just big enough. So
Absolutely.
what I felt the minute I literally moved there.
You hit the nail right on the head, and I'm sure coming from me being from the East Coast and you being from the Midwest, you had that discernment to be able to do that. And as you said, it is different over there, but you're able to find your people. I was able to find a lot of my people over there too. But having been I'm friends with UCLA people and USC people, but those end up being some of my best friends. They're still to this day from being from over there. So I was able to find my people too. But you're right, you're able to have to. It's a there's a melting pot, I guess you would say.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So during your time there, how did you enjoy that program? What was that like for you? What kind of plays were you doing and the things that you were doing at that time?
I enjoyed that program a lot. I thought it was great. And I thought the BA program was wonderful. I mean, that program has changed so much though. Like
Mhm.
since I went there, they have an entire like new, like state of the art system. And they also now call it the School of Dramatic Arts. So like
Okay.
it's kind of an upgrade. It is classy now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I was like, our building was like this like little like cinder block building out by the tennis courts. I was like,
Yeah.
because also the interesting thing too is apparently like a couple of years before I started there, the theater school and the cinema school used to be together. So the theater school used to get a lot of money from the cinema school because obviously like you had like Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg and like so many other people giving money to the USC film school. Well, then they got a new dean at the film school, and that dean of the film school said, we don't want to give money to these theater people. And so they divested them.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have a ton of money. But I also feel like, that's one of those things is like when you don't have a lot of money, you got to get a lot more creative. You get to do more interesting things. So I'm not to say that like USC doesn't have money. Like, let's not, let's not get twisted here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I did, there's a nice like there was a nice like I'm not a musical theater person, so I tended to do just more like straight theater, and so I did like main stage plays. I did. Oh, sorry if you can hear my dishwasher is going on.
Oh no, you're good. I can't hear anything. No, you're good. You're fine. You're fine. I can't hear it.
Good. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I did a lot of experimental theater and a lot of black box theater.
Yeah.
And like Women of Manhattan. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh. I know I'm going to forget a lot of stuff, but I also found my comedy chops there too. So I found I really enjoyed a lot of comedy.
Okay. Did you ever do any stand-up while you were there?
Not in college, but I mean, I did a little bit of stand-up in LA right before the pandemic. And then I was like, is this telling me something? I'm not sure. So.
Absolutely. The pandemic definitely changed things. And so how during your time acting wise, what made you decide to kind of make that shift from being on the acting roles, which obviously you were going out, and that's a shift from what you were doing as an actress or actor, depending on how you want to go with it. Switching. Yeah, I never know.
Yeah.
Switching over to how did you enjoy the TV and film side of things when you were doing that?
I mean, I enjoyed it. In all honesty, Brandon, I joke that I'm a failed actor because I didn't really book much. I didn't have much of a career. I toiled and I worked very hard to try to have a career, and I did so much, but I don't have any like big credits. I mean, I had lots of great auditions. I had lots of great producer stuff, but I never like could break through. And so, which can get like very disappointing and very, and so it's hard, also in your 20s. And, I can go so many different ways of like why this hasn't worked out. And I don't think that I will ever fully give up the dream or the idea that like maybe something could ever happen. It's just that I also finally was like, I'm tired of being poor. Like I'm tired of I'm tired of working, 4 or 5 jobs, and I'm getting older. My body can't take this anymore. So, and either like you're at a job that like will make you money, but you can't do any art, or you have time to do your art kind of, but you're not making any money. And so that's like, I think that's the real hard thing that I hate to say to any artist out there. It's like, you need to have money to be an artist.
Yes, you do.
Like you need to have a benefactor, whether that's a family member or a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, or an inheritance, or a lottery win, or you go ahead and you save up a shit ton of money, that you can then move to these places, because like, it's just, you need a lot of money because you have to think that you're operating at a loss for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, no, you're not missing it there. I didn't have any money, and luckily was able to make my way. But you're right about that. I do want to say this too, because don't give up, for one. Because I can understand the frustration. I understand the not having the money part. Here's the best thing that I say one of the good things that came out of the pandemic, I believe, is the fact that now with everything being self-tape, that you can live anywhere. You can be in Malta now and do the auditions.
Yeah.
Which has made the hugest difference for me, because before I was stuck in LA, couldn't leave LA, always had to be there. But with self-tapes, I was able to self-tapes and showcases worked the best for me, Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've worked because agents wouldn't give me the time of day. I'm pretty sure you had to go through that carousel thing as well, which is
Mm-hmm.
in LA specifically. I will say this: it really is. Agents can have a real strong hold on what you're able to be seen for and not be able to seen for.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and that can pigeonhole you. I deal with it. I've been in the business for 16 years and I still deal with it. Just in LA, surprisingly. Because but with showcases though, I was able to meet all these casting directors who started calling me in directly. And then I was able to find my true success in New York and Atlanta.
That,
But
I
go
mean,
ahead.
and that's how I got most of my auditions were just from showcases, because I
Yeah.
would have because I only had two agents ever, like,
Oh,
and
wow.
barely for any time. And just what you were saying, they pigeonholed me into like certain things because I'm super tall, and it's like, they just see you as like certain things. But anyway, that's besides the point. I do think like timing is everything, and like,
Yeah.
if something's meant to be, it's meant to be. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, but the way that I pivoted into reality TV casting was that I'd actually, right before the pandemic, I'd been bartending, and I had an accident, and I on the job, and I broke my foot, and so I was
Ooh.
going through workers' comp and disability and everything like that. And then so I was already kind of what's the word? I'd already been kind of in lockdown already before the pandemic
Yeah.
hit. And the pandemic was very hard. I'm not minimizing anything, but like
Yeah.
people were like, I don't know what to do. I can't go out. I was like, I've already been locked up for like months
Yeah.
now. I was like, I'm kind of used to this already. So it was a lot easier for me to deal with than I think for some other people. At least the isolation part, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, it does.
But towards the end of 2020, I was thinking, I was like, because I'd had some surgeries and I was starting to get better, but I also knew, I was like, I can't go back. I don't want to go back to bartending. B, I physically really can't go back to
Yeah.
bartending. What am I going to do? And I have a friend. I have a couple of friends, but I have one friend, and we worked together many years ago when I worked at the BBC in a sales job, and she had pivoted into working in reality television casting due to another friend. I mean, again, it's like you meet people and you gather people. It's like through different jobs and like through all of that. So, and I said to them one day, I said, so, how do I get into this reality TV
Yeah.
casting? I was like, how do I get into this? And one of my friends, she was like, I've been waiting for you to ask me this.
Okay.
But she was, at the same time, she knew, she was like, I can't tell you that you're going to be good at this. You're
Yeah.
going to need to like want to like do this, which is, she's absolutely right. So they helped me redo my resume and kind of like prep me on kind of like what all I needed to do for this. And so then I've been off Facebook for several years, and I had to get back on Facebook, and I just started applying for jobs, and I got a job pretty quickly. And I started off as a casting assistant, and then a
Okay.
casting associate producer, looking for people on different television shows. But then I found this job called a casting editor. So it's the person who takes the people, when people get to a certain point in the casting process, they get interviewed by a casting producer and on
Okay.
Zoom, and it gets recorded just like what we're doing now. And then that interview gets edited down to like, I mean, depends on the show, but gets edited down to somewhere usually around 2 minutes. And so
Okay.
it's the highlighted points, and it's getting down to like the meat of like what the network execs and producers want to see, so that they know if they want to cast this person on the show. So that's what I do. I take those interviews and I do that, because I was like, this is way more creative. The other part to me felt like sales, and I hated doing sales. I'm not a hard sell person.
Yeah, it's not your
I'm
thing.
no, but this was more creative, and look, I'm not making art.
Yeah.
I'm not making art. I'm helping to, to make, well, not trash television. I will defend reality TV to like a certain degree.
Yeah.
Because I do think in some ways it sometimes holds a mirror up to ourselves and like what's happening. And
Absolutely.
also I've been able to see trends to like what's happening in the world by watching like people talk and like
Really?
videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised the way this last election went, because
Okay.
I was like, because just hearing the way that people talked, and especially
Yeah.
young people talk, and I was like, yeah, I got a feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh wow, man! So you're able to basically. I mean, I guess you truly are not. I don't want to say psychologist, but you're getting to see people firsthand, especially if you said on the editing part of it. That you're going through people's, I guess, hours and hours of footage, trying to find, not even trying to find the best person, but trying to find, I guess, a person you think that might be right for what you're hired, whatever project you're hired to work on at that time.
Well, I mean, it's the casting producers, it's more of their job to find the right person.
Okay.
For me, it's to find how do I tell the story of this person the best?
Yeah.
Like, why should they be on this show? Like, do they fulfill the requirements to be on this show? Like, like, let's say it's like a dating show. Like, do they really want to find love, or do they just want to be famous? Like, because sometimes they get, I mean, and it depends on the show. Because maybe, like, let's say it's F-Boy Island. Like, if I'm doing all these guys here, there's going to be some guys who are good guys, and so they're looking for love, and then there's going to be the F-boys who are not looking for love.
Yeah,
so I'm going to have to edit. So I need to find that way. But like, are they kind of manipulative and all of that stuff? But like, have they been in serious relationships before? What is their family dynamic like? Like, are their parents divorced? Did they have a bad did their parents have a bad relationship, or did their parents have a really good relationship, and so they go off that? Or they're too afraid that they're not going to have as good of a relationship as their parents had. But like you said, there's a psychology to it, and like, you're kind of like, you really are watching people. It's just very, very interesting, because you really are sometimes watching people justify their own actions a lot of the time. And then you were like, oh, am I like that? Or like,
yeah, very introspective, I guess.
Well, I have a question about that casting. What do you think people most misunderstand the most about reality TV casting?
Oh, a lot, Mama Rush, honestly. I think a lot of times that they don't think that they need to care about it. This is a job interview, no matter what. So I think a lot of times I can't tell you how many people, they want to do these interviews in their car. And I'm like, excuse me,
wow.
This is going to be, even though we tell them it's going to be recorded, like, present yourself. Like, it is a job interview. You don't have to wear a suit and a tie, or like, wearing a, business suit or anything like that. But like, this is still a job interview. And I think also it's like, be honest too, as well. Like, you can tell when people are like hiding. It's be honest and be yourself. And sometimes people think that being yourself means just being on and like, let me be loud. But it's like, no. We want you to bring that energy that is you. Like, how are you with your friends? Like, when you're just with your friends, like, we're having a conversation, like, and a lot of times people think that they have to be perfect. So it's like, it's threading this very fine needle of like, this is a job interview that you do not have to be perfect in, because we're not looking for a right answer. We're looking for you. Hang out with your friend, talk to us like we're your friend. And let's just have that moment together. But at the same time, be the best version. Like, it's that night out with your girls or your guys, when you're at dinner before you hit the club. Let's have that moment together. Okay. That makes sense.
I understand. Well, have you ever met someone and instantly, you have known just instantly that they belonged on TV?
Yes, I have. Oh my gosh, and why can I not remember? Her name literally just left my brain the minute you asked me that. She was the runner-up to The Bachelor a year ago, to Grant's season on The Bachelor. And I was editing her tape, and I was like, she's either going to win The Bachelor, or she is going to or she's going to be the next Bachelorette. And she was the runner up. She was, and actually I edited both her and the girl who won. Okay. And the girl who won, I was actually surprised. Oh, but okay. Oh my gosh, but what is her name? Why can I not think of it? I can
That's
see
okay
her
if you
face.
can't.
Well, let's just say this. Let's move on. Without naming names, what's one of the wildest or most memorable casting
Ooh.
experiences you've had?
Ooh. I, I'll say that. Well, there is a guy. I didn't know the term Riz before until I like he was like, I got the Riz, and
Yeah.
I was working on The Circle, and
Oh,
I was like, this guy came his interview tape. I was like, this guy is wild. I was like, he has got the Riz. I was like, this guy is so charismatic, and he almost won The Circle. I was
Really?
like, oh my
really?
gosh, he was just telling wild stories. But there's a lot of wild stories that you will hear that I can't put into an edit necessarily, that you're just like,
Understandable.
whoa, this is insane. Like some of this stuff that like people, because it becomes like a therapy session for a lot of these people. I mean, they're telling you about their horrible dates, they're telling you about like their horrible relationships,
Yeah.
and but at the same time, at least for me, I feel a little less alone in like
Yeah.
certain things, because I was like, no, that's just, we're not alone out here. People are having horrible experiences or wonderful. I will say that I keep a box of tissues always at my desk, because I will say
Really?
I probably cry once a day at somebody's got a story that is either sweet or sad, and it'll make me teary. But I'm also a Pisces rising, so I cry a little too much.
Okay, no, there's something beautiful in crying. That's amazing though that you're touched by these stories. I think me and mom has someone crying. So, we have people crying on the podcast all the time.
That's
Us too, us
it
too.
really
It goes back and forth. So we used to keep tissues over here, but I don't have one at the moment.
okay. Well, you're a producer of a podcast, I understand as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast and what inspired you to step into podcasting.
Well, that podcast, it's just about Bravo shows, mainly actually about Los Angeles centered Bravo shows. So Real
Okay.
Housewives of Beverly Hills, The Valley, it was Vanderpump Rules, but not so much anymore. And also Real Housewives of Orange County. It started because this goes back to COVID lockdown.
Uh-huh.
There is a Twitter account. It's a parody account. It's called Don Gunvalson Parody, and it's Don Gunvalson is the ex-husband of Real Housewives of Orange County OG cast member Vicky Gunvalson, and so there's a parody account of this man that is hilarious. It's very, very funny. And so I used to follow it on Twitter when I was on Twitter. And then there's another account that is a parody account of Jackie Onassis's younger sister, Lee Radiswell. And it's a parody account too. So I followed those two accounts, and I eventually found out because the owner of those accounts DM'd me, and he was like, "Ahoy." And I was like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Who is this person like DMing me? Because also like I just I don't mess with people in my DMs very much. I'm very
Okay.
bad. I'm just like, I don't know about this. And so eventually I kind of figure out that this guy is not a creep. He's not going to send me a dick pic. Like he's not like any of that stuff. I was like, okay, no, he's just this guy who has this very sardonic sense of humor and runs these two Twitter accounts. And I became friends with him. And he's big on Bravo. And so we became friends, and his name is Jordan Ross Myers. And so we became friends, and we talked a lot of Bravo. And I also got another friend in with it. And so we started this podcast. It's called Pretty Corrupt Podcast, because also Jordan he loves like Kathy Hilton. He actually works for her now. Like
Okay.
he does like social media stuff for her. But it's we both, because I work in reality television, and he is also born and raised in Los Angeles and has his he knows a lot of people who are in reality television as well. We kind of like bring a little bit of the backstory to these shows, and like behind the scenes of like kind of how the sausage is made, but also like, okay, like let's also like, there's a lot of Bravo podcasts especially, but I think for anything, where there's a lot of stands, you know, and we're not a stand podcast. Like
Okay.
we see these, the stars of these shows, they're human beings, like they're real people, and they're flawed. And so you're going to love them one season and you're going to hate them the next season. So we're not going to like put them up on this pedestal. They're also on reality television. Like they're not, that's what's happening here. So we talk about that. And yeah, so that's been going on for about 5 years now. No, yeah, 5 years now. We started in 2020.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's
you.
something. I tell you, I'm enjoying the podcast with Brandon. It has been just a unique experience for me. I'm a scientist, but this has truly been a unique experience. And I love people. We both love people.
Yeah,
and that's why we're able to just find out about how people or what people do. And it's just been such an inspiration for us and an enlightening for us. And so that is so great to hear that your podcast, or you're working with podcasts and reality TV at the same time. What's been one of your favorite moments or interviews on the podcast so far?
We actually don't really interview a lot of people on the podcast because we do more of like a recap of the episodes and stuff. So that's the way that we kind of do it. So, and also now with me having moved too, that's better. So because now the time difference.
Oh yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now about your move, where you're living right about now, and Brandon, we can go back. You want to say something here?
I'll go back to. You're good. Yeah. Tell us about what ended up Malta. I can't even talk today. How did this come about?
I mean, a whole bunch of reasons. I mean, I don't want to like, look, well, kind of like what you said with COVID, like you didn't have to necessarily be tied to Los Angeles anymore.
Yeah, seriously, thank God.
Same thing here. Like with my job now, like having moved over to reality television casting, I don't have to be in Los Angeles anymore all the time. And also because I'm an editor, I'm not necessarily also tied to US hours per se. So I started looking at digital nomad visas because also like, I mean, I'm getting older. I mean, I'm almost 50. So it's like, haven't been able, I don't
you did not look at it all.
Now, I must say you do not.
I would have said,
I must tell you that I know I have seen a lot of people in my lifetime. But I tell you, I would not have known that today.
At all.
And I don't usually just take that lightly. So you take great care of yourself. But what I wanted to ask, I wanted you to finish answering that. But when you said that threw me for a loop. I said, what did you say?
You don't look it at all. And even the least bit.
And that gets back to that you protected your skin and everything. And so living in the South, well, we're now in South Carolina, living here, I've just seen people in your age group, and I just would think they might be 70.
Yeah.
And you look really, with the sun and everything, we get a lot of sun here in South Carolina and outside a lot. And so with that, you have protected your skin. But what has been your biggest adjustment living abroad?
Well, the time difference actually with the States, because I still do. That was the thing, is that I was like, I looked at digital nomad visas, and the one I hadn't thought about Malta before. I've been looking at like Spain and Italy and Greece, but Malta is a former British colony.
Okay.
And so they actually speak English here. It's one of the official languages. So that kind of, it was like, oh, then I can, like, while I'm here, I can learn more Italian and Spanish. I already speak French. But I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's also in a place I hadn't thought of before. I can travel a lot easier. Because like I can Sicily is literally a ferry ride away from me.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So, and I really do love to travel, but I have not had the ability to travel due to financial reasons for most of my adult life. And last year I saved up enough money to go to London over like over Christmas and New Year's. So from 2024 to 2025. And I was just like, I have to figure out a way to do this more. And this literally moving my entire life was a way to do it more. Cause also then I could save more money because I'm saving money here. I'm saving at least $1,000 a month just on rent living here.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's
so
called
it's
like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's a financial reason. Like, you know, there are financial reasons because also like I want to travel. B, I also want to be able to save money to retire too.
Mhm.
And I can't do that in Los Angeles. And I don't really know if I can do that in the States too much without, you know, moving somewhere and compromising so much, you know, because I don't know, because it depends on what state you move to and like what you want to give up in certain things. So I don't know. But when it comes to the sun, it's going to get really hot here and very sunny here soon enough. It's actually a rare, like cloudy day today. It was raining earlier, but I will say though, Mama Rush, there's one other reason that I look so young. And that is, I do not have kids and I have not had a husband.
Oh, okay.
So I slept very, very well for most of my life. So
you really have?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
staying single has kept this.
It's working. It is working. I'm still in disbelief. I'm not wait, I think not the word disbelief, but I can't believe we've been over it. But as I said, you do not. I would have thought you just got out of college, to be honest with you, and I'm not even lying to you.
I'm not that. I don't look that young. No.
You look really young. You look really young. So what have been some of your favorite things in Malta so far? I guess live it there.
Well, I mean, I've only been here, you know, two months now.
Oh, 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. But I love. Oh my gosh, there's so much Italian food. It's great. I love that. I also just love being able to. For years before, I actually was a person in Los Angeles who did not have a car for many years. So the fact that like it's even people walk here, like there are lots of cars in Malta. So I'm not going to like sell a false dream there, but also I live in a smaller town. I moved up to the northern part of the island too. And so like, I walk through like a big church courtyard to like get to the main road of the town. And I don't know, there's just certain like things that you're like, I look out, I've got a great view and I can like see the sun. I've seen more sunsets in 2 months than I saw in California.
Yeah.
I'm not joking with you. Like, it's just kind of, and this is kind of like the way I wanted to take this next chapter of my life, of like not having to grind so hard and do like more enjoyable work, and then be able to like enjoy parts of my life, and like, you know, pushing myself to make new friends and meet new people. And that's something I'm doing slowly. And I have to tell myself, like, you have to do this. You have to like, stop being nervous and just go and do these things and reach out to people. So yeah.
That's
absolutely.
But
Your
you
time.
feel more,
Oh, sorry, Mom. No, you go ahead, Mom. You're good.
Do you feel more free now to be able to do more? You do. That's a good feeling. Tell us a little bit about that. That are your creative ability? You feel that it's going to flow better here where you are now? Excuse me.
I feel like it. Yeah. I felt like because the financial burden, it's just, those financial burdens, you don't realize how much they weigh on you, like so much, until they're either lessened or they're gone. And they're not gone from me, but they have lessened a lot. I was just like, when you have that breathing room, you're not taking up that mind space, that like, because that space that is taken up of like, oh, well, I better not do this because then I won't be able to afford this, or if I spend too much here, that just takes up so much energy there, and creative energy. And when you also don't think that you can be creative, that you don't have time to be creative, because time is money. And and I think living a like rich life is being able to have time to do the things that you want to be able to do, whether it's laying on your couch and watching television, or being able to be creative, go write or take pictures or paint or like do movies, or be with your children, or like just, or walking around your town or doing something like that. And I think that I feel just so less in the rat race, and
Yeah.
it's just been so freeing already just in like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I'm very happy for you with that, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I try to tell this can be anywhere, but LA is a beast. And as you were saying earlier, if you don't have those financial means, or if you didn't come from if you don't have a benefactor of some type, whatever kind of benefactor that might be, that's a real stress, constant stress, always worrying. It's like you're working to live at a place that you're barely in, because you're working all the time to be able to afford that roof over your head. And I'm sure that's in a lot of places, but I can say that I really know it's in Los Angeles for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to now be saving almost $1,000, that's $1,000 you can put towards traveling over to, taking that ferry over to Italy. I mean, Sicily, excuse me. Or taking those trips somewhere else. And it probably does open up your creative mind a lot more with not having that stressful burden on you.
Yeah, because I mean, also creativity comes from experiences and like and living those parts of your life and meeting those different people. That's why honestly, like as much as I loved theater school, the most that you learned acting wise was actually just living your life and
Yeah.
having those experiences to be able to like call on. That's why like a lot of times like I hate, not even Hollywood's obsession, just it seems to be our human obsession, as of late, of like on youth, because I think we're just so much more interesting people when we are
Yeah.
in our like 40s and up, to be honest with you, just
That's
because
the truth.
yeah, you've already gone through so much, and you're just like, oh, like that's why I'm like, that's why I will never give completely up on acting, because I think I am just such a more interesting person now, and I'd be a much more interesting actor now too, because of like what you can bring to a character. I mean, I saw something with Annette Bening, and I was like, God, I love her, and she's even more interesting now, and she hasn't done anything to her face, and oh my God, and that's what makes it just even better. You're just like, oh, like so good, just such living that like life, that like rich life that you can like kind of dig into, and yeah, I felt very closed in LA, which was kind of crazy, because you wouldn't think that, but I think, but it becomes like the Eight of Swords in Tarot, in the Tarot card of like,
Ooh.
you can leave anytime, you just think that you're stuck there.
Yeah.
So it's like so even with me moving away, I did have to say, when I started to do this, I go, Stacy, are you moving away from, trying to move away from your problems, or are you trying to move to like make something new from your life? Because wherever you go, there you are, and your problems will follow you. So it was like, so I really had to sit down with myself and like ask some hard questions about that. Because I think if this had been like 10, 15 years ago, I would have been running away from something.
Yeah.
Whereas like now it's more like running towards myself, of like, I want to find myself more.
I love hearing
Absolutely.
that. I love hearing that. And I would like for you to share with our audience, and we have a huge following here, and we are on 6 continents actually, but we have so many countries and cities within those continents that are on the show. Brandon, you have the number, don't you?
Yeah, we're at I think I told you before, Stacy, on NDM, but we're at 19 million now. We're in 81 countries, and we're in 944 cities around the world. We're a big melting pot, and stories like yours and people that
Yeah.
we've had on here that really encompass that. And that's why I'm glad that you're sharing your story with us too.
Yeah, but one thing I want to mention on that, excuse me, Brandon, I
You're
wanted to
good.
finish that statement. I want you to tell that. But Stacy, I hear something from you that you're saying, and I think you can share it with our audience. That's why I wanted you to know. When you feel that, when someone may feel that they're stuck in a chapter of his or her life, what would you tell them about that? Or what would you share your experience has been? And that will impact their lives as well.
I mean, well, I can only hope that it would impact their lives, to be honest with you. I mean, because I can't control how somebody necessarily receives it. However, I would say that because there's been I would say I went into my 30s very excited actually to be in my 30s, surprisingly enough. I was excited about that. And I thought they were going to be a great decade. And if at 29 I had known what a really crappy decade it was going to be for me,
Oh,
I would have
wow.
been like, oh no, don't do this. Because it was full of a lot of really, really low points and really tough things to really go through, like physically, emotionally, financially. But it was interesting because after basically losing everything and having to rehaul my life completely in my early 30s, and then having an almost similar situation hit me again towards my late 30s, when it came up again in my late 30s, I go, you survived this already once. You've already, and you know that you came out the other side of it. And you did not think that you would do it back then, but you did. Like you already did. So in a sense, being forewarned is being forearmed. And I was able to like kind of brace myself and go, you've already done this before. You've gotten through it. You know, it does not last forever. You're going to be okay. And so, and I also, I taught spin class for like over a decade. And I would tell people, I was like, this class is not the hardest thing that you've done. Like you've given birth. I was like, you've had children. I was like, you've lost parents. You've lost, siblings. I was like, you've done so many things that I can't even think of. I was like, this class is not the hardest thing that you've been through. So a lot of times, and everything is really relative to somebody, what they think is hard. So it's like, there's just always, and I never want to say it for it to feel trite or have somebody think that I'm minimizing what they're experiencing. But I think on the other side of it, you always look back and you go, oh, not that it was easy, but that just, I actually got through it and it was okay.
Yeah.
Amen. You have a good spirit, Stacy.
He really does.
Oh,
And
thank you.
oh yeah, of course, it comes through naturally. And I also want to say, I when you were talking there, I'm like, with what you were going through, I've been through very similar. It's kind of like it's one battle after another that you were going through in LA. Like when you were talking, I'm like, that is literally what LA, a lot of it is one battle after another. And it sounds like you went through that. Having gone through that now, and I love what you said, was the fact that because you were able to get through, because you've been down that road before where something went all the way completely left, and you were able to get through that however you were, that prepared you for that next battle that came up when it was like, hey, I went through this in maybe my 20s or later 20s. I'm now going through it again at, let's just say, 34. I'm just taking a random guess here. But I'm able to handle that because I've been through that. That is one thing that I think with leaving your hometown like you did, that was one battle in itself. You're leaving, going from Texas to Los Angeles where you don't know a single soul probably. And then you get through all that you went through, most likely by yourself and maybe with some friends and family a little bit, but they might not have known the full scope. How that has continued to help you level up as a whole. With you now going into with Malta, how's that helped you out throughout life now that you have all now that you're pretty badass to say the least. If no one's told you that today, I'm going to tell you. How is that helping you going forward with your life and your outtake? Well, you've been able to help other people, I guess, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I certainly hope that I've been able to help other people. And I think that I have. Actually, no, I know that I have. I have to give myself that credit. I know that I have. But I've always been like an adventurous person, and I don't think I've given myself enough credit that way in a lot of ways. So like me picking up and moving, and I just was like, you just have to do it sometimes. Like you just have to do it. And that's the thing. I lived in a lot of fear and a lot of like afraid of like and I still am afraid of what people will think half the time, but that's more in my head. That's before I do it. As soon as you're in the middle of doing it, you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter. So where was I going with this? That's all right.
We were well, I can bring you back with the journey that she's on. She's been through, Brandon.
Yeah.
And you've been on a beautiful journey here. And I'm looking at you. I'm listening to your acting, your pivot, your casting, your podcasting, your travels, and you're talking about all of that. And Brandon was asking that, what thread connects it all for you? And that might bring you to where you feel.
Well, I feel that like this is what just life as the whole is like we actually we think of life as like, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but I feel that I've lived already maybe a dozen lives within this one life. And I probably have 24 more lives to live, God willing, that I have more time here. And that's just encompassed in this one life. And so like we don't have to be contained to what one person or one idea, or like who we think we're supposed to be. And you can like reinvent yourself while still being yourself, if that makes sense. It's more like reinventing the outside versus reinventing the core. We're always who we are at our core, but you get to, so you try a different job, try a different workout, try a different fabric softener, whatever it is, whatever you need to like do that makes you like break out of, I feel like we use the term comfort zone too much, but change is going to happen no matter what. Change is going to happen. And either it gets thrust upon you or you get to decide to make that change. And I think we've all had plenty of times where it was thrust upon us and it was very hard. And I think that's the other thing, like kind of going back to what you asked me before, the times where it was the hardest was when the change was thrust upon me and I wasn't ready for it. And I kind of didn't want to accept it, that this wasn't supposed to be my life and this wasn't happening to me. But when I finally just decided to kind of go with it, of like when it came around the second time and I was like, well, this change has been thrust upon me. What you need to do is you need to like move with it. How can we work with this change? And then moving forward, it's like sometimes I'm like, I'm thinking ahead and this change is ahead of me. Like I need to make this change for myself.
Yeah.
So I think as long as we can just realize that like the one thing, constant thing in life is change.
Absolutely.
How do you want to, you're never going to stay one thing in your life. So live 10,000 lives in one life. Like do change, go with it, move with it.
Stacy, you've done a wonderful job you've been done a wonderful job of being comfortable, being uncomfortable. We say on this a lot of times. So you've had to be comfortable being uncomfortable because you've been in uncomfortable situations but you have flourished during those situations. You mentioned comfort zone, and I wanted to say, this is a movie called Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You may not have. Have you?
The Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I wanted to mention is it's like this. You being from Texas, me being from Virginia, and you going to LA, and me going to LA as well. I feel a lot like how Frodo felt and I'm going to relate this, why it relates. How Frodo went when he went to go take that ring to Mordor or wherever it was. He went on this big adventure. He went through all kinds of trials and so did all of his fellowship and whatnot. But he went through so much to where at the end of the movie where he can't go back to the Shire, because the Shire is it's not the same anymore. He's lived this big life. He's no longer Stacy that started in Texas. He's no longer Brandon that started in Virginia. You've gone to Mordor basically in LA, and now it's like I have to go on to my next adventure because the same life at home won't do it for me anymore. So he decides to tell his friends, hey, I'm not staying here. I'm going to what's beyond. And he leaves with the elves to go to whatever that beyond is. And that's kind of, I feel like with you as well, where you're not done with any of the past stuff, but it's like you've lived such a life and you went to that one battle after another to where you said, you know what, I can make this Malta. I'm going to make this Malta thing happen. It's going to be scary, but I'm going to take that leap of faith. How do you find your ability to take those leap of faith, I guess? But it's going to work out, but maybe you don't, but you're willing to take that leap of faith.
I just feel like there's no other option. Like there's just no other option because nobody else is going to do it for me.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Nobody's going to come save us. Nobody's going to come save me. Nobody's going to come save you. Nobody's going to come save us. Like we have to save ourselves, or we have to make these changes for ourselves. So it's just like, I just have to do it. Some days I don't want to.
Yeah.
Some days I'm much braver than others.
Absolutely.
But like, when I got back into waiting tables, I mean, I got back into waiting tables. I was like 34 years old. I was like, I can't believe I'm waiting tables again. But I remember one of the girls that was training me, and she's younger than me, but she was like, one of the things was like picking up the check after somebody had already paid. And, and me being from Texas and being a sweet Southern girl raised in the church, was like, I want to go like ask for that money or like reach over and like grab that. She's like, girl, that's your money. You go take that money. She was like, don't worry about that. You go take that. And for some reason that sticks with me on so many things of like, girl, go get your money, go take that money, like go reach in, because I was raised to be like that polite, go,
Yeah.
like, don't, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, go get your money. So it's, I didn't, like, also, I mean, I don't know, you probably know, Mama Rush, like you get to a certain age and you just stop caring so much. And so
Yeah.
it just you're like,
Uh,
what do I have to lose?
well, I was listening. I thought about this the other day, and in fact, what you just said. What happens is we get to a point of our lives where you might be. I heard a young girl who's written this book, and she says, I think it is, we don't care. But at my position, or my plight in life at this wonderful point of my life, is we care enough to move on. That's a whole
Yes.
different way we care. And so you get to that point, and I care enough. It's not I don't care, and that's the book she's written. And so many people, because people are going through menopause, women are menopause and that type of thing, and postmenopause. And I think at this station in my life, I said, where she said, well, we don't care, and that's in her age group. I said, I am at the point in my life, we care enough to move on. And so that makes things keep going forward in one's life and enjoying one's life. I heard you and Brandon say something I want you to tell you both that I heard you both say. Why you can't go back to where you were is because ordinary doesn't work for you all anymore.
Mm-mm.
You both are extraordinary. And so you're not common. There's a book called The Dream Giver, and the dream giver is actually God. And the dream giver at that point in your careers or your lifetime, you saying right now is that, and that's what the dream giver does. He wants you to see what he has for you. He wants you to dream big. He wants you to make it happen. He wants you to enjoy your life. And so many people lose that in this lifetime. But the dream giver, that's why I said you are no longer ordinary, you two. You become extraordinary in this world that needs more people just like you both act in your lives or conduct yourselves in your lives. So I want to share that with you. Brenda, are you ready for the
Yeah, I'm ready for the
Okay, all righty.
Stacy.
Okay.
We got the lightning round of questions coming, so you can answer them however you want
Okay.
to, but it's gonna be some quick ones. Was there a moment in your life where you almost ever quit? You can answer that however you want.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
What
There's
made you
been,
keep going?
I, I just don't quit. That's the
Hey,
thing.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh, I guess I was gonna say what keeps you going during tough times, but I think you just answered that with that.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
what motivates you today?
Oh, I think I have a really big imagination. So the fact that, like, honestly, like, and the thing is that life has been so much more interesting than I thought it could be. Like, we had these dreams when we're little and we think that life, and then it's, even though life didn't turn out the way I expected it at all,
Yeah.
it's been way more interesting than I thought. So I have a really big imagination. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, imagine what it could be that I haven't even thought of.
Absolutely. It's the journey, not the destination. What legacy do you want to leave?
Oh, just that I was a good person, to be
Amen.
honest with you. Yeah.
I like that. A either dream show to cast or a dream show to be in. It could be either or.
Oh,
I can
oh
both.
my gosh. Ah, I mean, what shows do I not want to be on? There's so many shows that I want to be on, and there's so many shows that, like,
You can do like
uh,
three if that helps.
oh my gosh. Well, now I wish y'all had prepped me on this, because now I'm like, oh, what television shows? Oh my gosh. Because now my mind is like going
It can be
blank.
past or
But
present.
um, oh man, I I loved the show Battlestar Galactica. I wish I
That
could
was
have been on
good.
that show. It was
Yeah,
so good.
it
It
was
was
good.
so good, so layered. I really wanted to be on that show. Oh man. I also really wanted to be on ah, I would have loved to have been like on The Crown, like the first like couple of
Oh,
Oh,
I
seasons
really?
somehow. I
that
don't
was
know.
great. Oh,
That's a good show too.
I agree. The
Yeah.
Crown.
But like the first two seasons, like with the
Yeah,
young
in the 40s
queen
and
and
stuff,
stuff
Hmm.
right?
like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 40s and 50s, like that would
Yeah.
have been fun with those costumes and stuff like that. And yeah, I love a lot of period stuff. So
Okay.
so yeah, something like that. But I don't. But and when it comes to casting, though, I've worked on a lot of shows that I wanted to cast, which was interesting. So that was cool. I think one that I haven't gone to cast would be actually I wouldn't. I would love to work on the casting for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That would be fun.
Oh, really? Okay. By the way,
Yeah.
your list is absolutely huge. I saw. I'll make sure to put that in your bio whenever
That's
I
great.
post it in your podcast. Okay. Reality show you a reality show that you would go on.
Oh, well, okay. I said this a couple of years ago in a work Slack, and I said Real Houses of Beverly Hills because that would mean that I was rich.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Okay. L.A. in one word.
Oh.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Congested.
That's-
That's the only word I can. Congested. Just
Oh, traffic's
congested.
awful there. Yeah, it's awful. Malta in one word.
Oh, it is right now. It's blooming,
Okay.
hmm.
so it's really nice. Yeah, it's spring is sprung here, and at least where I live, it's a lot. Other people would say it's congested if they live in the more like
Yeah.
south of me, but like where I am, it's really blooming and it's really gorgeous. So yeah,
Okay, that sounds good. Coffee or cocktails?
neither. I'm a tea person.
Oh, we usually have tea on here, but we didn't have it today. So okay. Early bird or night owl?
Ah, actually, neither. I am an afternoon person.
Okay, we'll take it. I don't have to start adding these on here now. Uh, Biggest red flag in casting.
Oh, oh, ah. Well, what do you? I mean, there's so many different ones, but in all honesty, the biggest red flag will just be when somebody, to me, it's when somebody is too fabulous. Like when they have too many stories, too many things. When it's like you mentioned something like, "Oh, I got this." Oh, I. It's like,
Mm.
I think you might be lying to us to
Yeah.
try to get on here. Like, yeah, yeah.
That sounds good. Biggest green flag.
Um, you know what? What I talked about with Mama Rush is the openness, the like the vulnerability that openness that somebody brings.
All right, that sounds good. Advice you would give your 18-year-old self or your younger self.
Oh, just don't worry so much. Like,
Mm.
just you don't you don't have to be perfect, Stacy. That's what I would say.
Okay.
You don't have to be
Well,
perfect.
Stacy, I want to say one, you've been absolutely amazing. Mom's going to finish it, but I want to say you've been absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you coming on the show today. You're absolutely wonderful human being. With acting stuff, I'll send you a bunch of stuff. I'll WhatsApp you a bunch of acting stuff that can help you out. I think with online showcases and stuff like that, things that have worked for me to help me be to where I'm at. So I think it could work for you. New York and Atlanta, I believe you'll thrive in those areas with acting, and that's where a lot of the business is right now too. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And then yeah, thank you for coming on. And I'll give it. I'll let Mom take it away from here.
Right. Stacy, I want to tell you something. Your journey is a true example of what it means to pivot with purpose. From Texas to Los Angeles, from acting to casting, and now living internationally in Malta. Malta. You show that sometimes life redirects us exactly where we're meant to be. So, what I love most is that you didn't stop. You adjusted, you evolved, and you kept moving forward. We are so grateful you came on the Buckle Up Podcast Universe today and shared your story with us. And before we let you go, tell everyone where they can find you,
Yeah.
follow you, and tune into your Pretty Corrupt podcast as well. If you can
I was
tell
like, wait,
that
what?
right. But you told me you wanted me to finish it, so I
Oh, yeah, no, I just,
okay,
the
all
pretty,
right,
I
well,
was like, what are you
so
talking? I
yeah,
forgot
you
the name
need
of
to
the
say
podcast
that
for a second.
part.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this part, and then you can get that, say that last,
No,
after
no,
that
you're good,
last
Mom. You're good. You're good. I forgot the name of the podcast threw me for a second. I'm sorry.
yeah. So we've got, and then I want to finish this, and to our listeners, to our listeners, because they're listening and they want to know, you already know, stay ready, stay aware, and always buckle up.
And
Well, well, thank you so much, Brandon and Mama Rush, for having me on. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Yeah, if anybody wants to follow me, they can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the real Stacy Conner, and that is StacyConner. Just as everybody spells my name wrong, it's okay. And then you can follow also the Pretty Corrupt podcast. It is just Pretty Corrupt podcast on TikTok and Instagram and X. We are also on X as well. So, and then we are also on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. So yeah, if you want to watch us or listen to us. So yeah, but I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure and really wonderful talking with y'all today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Stacy. Thank you so much for your time. Just send me a photo that you want to, the photo you want for your episode, and I'll have that done in a couple hours.
So
that sounds perfect.
And Brandon,
Okay.
before we leave, what do we do? What
we
do
get Stacy, you knocked it out of the park today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Stacy. You have a wonderful day. Okay, or no, night, I guess.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock now. So.
Okay. You have a great rest of your day, Stacy.
Thank
you have a great
Thank you
day
so
too.
much.
Bye, y'all.
All righty.